Hey guys, welcome to the channel. In today's video we're going to talk about the K1 visa interview, and I'm going to give you some tips based on my experience on how I approved the interview itself and how you can prepare yourself in order to have a higher chance of passing the interview and getting your K1 visa approved. So if you find this video useful, please give it a like, subscribe, because that way it will help the channel grow and it will help other couples and other people find the information and all the videos we're posting on YouTube. I'm doing this because I know when I was doing the research, I know many of the videos are outdated or the information is not totally correct. So I just want to put this out there. Share the video and give it a like. So getting that out of the way, how do you prepare yourself for the K1 visa interview? So I think the first thing you need to pay attention to is when filling out the forms I-129F with your US citizen petitioner. This step is really important because basically all the information that's going to be in that form is going to be information about you and your fiance, and many of the questions, if not most of them, are going to be based on that form. So you have to fill out that form in an honest way, in a detailed way, and make sure that you know all the things that you wrote down in that form, because during the interview they're going to be asking you questions about that. So how do I increase my chances of passing the interview? By knowing your I-129 form and the supporting evidence that you're going to be sending. So if you already have all of that figured out, if you know all of the information that you put in those forms, then you're going to be fine. So what happens in the actual day of the interview? So the day of the interview, first you got to be prepared when you get there. Make sure to get there on time. On time doesn't mean 2 hours earlier, half hour before. You just got to be there on time. So whatever your interview time is, you just get there at that time, maybe 10 minutes before, but that's it. They're going to respect your interview time, so do not worry about that. And make sure to bring all the supporting evidence that you are required to bring. So in my case, I had to bring the financial information about the US petitioner, so that means the affidavit of support. I had to bring my birth certificate. I had to bring a copy of the I-129 packet too. They didn't ask for all this stuff, but it's always better to be more prepared than less prepared. So I brought all that supporting documentation. I also brought the medical examination results. So that folder that they're going to give you when you do the medical exam, it's going to be sealed. Do not open it, because if you open it, then it's not valid anymore. So make sure to have it sealed all the time, because they're going to ask for it during the interview. So make sure you bring your passport and whatever other documentation you think they're going to ask you during your interview. So every case is different, but make sure to, like I said, bring more stuff than less. Don't forget a document back at your hotel or something like that. Just be ready, be prepared, and make sure to dress nicely. Nicely doesn't necessarily mean in a suit, but just, I don't know, just shower, dress nicely, maybe wear some dress pants, maybe a shirt. If you're a girl, use a nice dress, maybe some dress pants, but it doesn't matter as long as you look nice. So what happens during the interview? You're gonna have to be waiting for a lot of time because many people are applying for visas, for American visas, so you're probably gonna have to wait a lot. But what happened during the actual interview is that, in my case, I went through 2 interviews. So the first one is going to be with a person that's going to ask you for the affidavit of support documents of your foreign fiance, showing that he or she can support you financially while you get to the US and you're waiting for your green card and your working papers. So she's just gonna ask you for all these documents. You're gonna show them the papers and then answer a couple questions like, what does your fiance do for work? Where is she working? How much is she making? Can I see the forms, the affidavit of support form? So once you give her all that stuff, then you're pretty much done with that interview. She's gonna write some things in the computer, take some documents. She's actually gonna keep that stuff, so just keep that in mind. And then after that, she's gonna tell you to wait a little longer, go to this other room. So after the first interview, that one lasts around 10-15 minutes. Make sure to always say the truth when they're asking you questions, and be sure to keep it simple. So if they're asking you a question, for example, where does your fiance work? Just tell them the answer with, my fiance works at a bank. And that's it. You don't need to give more details about the answer, because that's not what the interviewer is saying. So make sure to listen well and to just answer what they're asking. So after that, after the 10-minute interview I wouldn't call it an interview, it's just after that 10-minute process or you talking to that first person, you give them the affidavit support documents, they keep them, they check that she or he is financially able to support you, and then you go to the next part of the interview day. So that's when you're about to talk to the officer that's going to interview you for the actual K1 visa. So what happens during this? You don't go into a room or anything, you're actually just standing up and talking to a person that's behind a glass, and that's where the officer is going to be. There's going to be a little hole and you're going to be able to listen to each other, but before you there's going to be more people applying. So what I did is to listen to what the interviews were saying, because how it works, it's like this: you go into this room and then there's like 10 people in line waiting before you, and then once you get ahead in line, you're going to be you get in that line, and then as the line goes, people are going to be interviewing with the different officers. There's actually like 6 officers, and they're just going to be asking questions to the visa applicants, and you're going to be able to listen to some of the questions. So just make sure to listen to see what kind of questions they're going to ask you, just for you to be ready. But I would give you an advice to not be nervous. There's no need to be nervous. If you already know the forms, like I said, the I-129F and all the normal stuff about your fiance and yourself, you're going to be fine. So just be nice, listen, and just, like I said, keep it simple, and pay attention to the questions the other visa applicants are going through before you get your actual interview. So after everyone goes and it's your turn, then you're gonna meet up face to face with the officer, and he or she is going to ask you questions about yourself and about your fiance. And before you do this, I want to say that the interview, at least for me, I did it in Mexico and it was in Spanish. It could have been in English too, so maybe in your country, if you're worrying about the language, it's very likely that you will have it in your in the language of your country. So don't worry about that if you're not a very good English speaker. It really doesn't matter, or at least to me it didn't matter, and I saw that everyone getting interviewed was speaking in Spanish, so I just wanted to say that. And what happened during the actual interview? So they're just going to ask you questions about, an example can be like, what's your fiance's name? So you're going to answer that. What's your name? What's your full name? What do you do for a living? What does your fiance do for a living? How long has she been working at the company she's been working at? Well, what are your parents' names? What are your fiance's parents' names? When do you guys meet? How do you guys meet? When was the last time you saw each other? Do you have any plans for the wedding? And basically just questions about, like I said, questions about you guys, about the couple. What the officer is trying to see is just to see if the relationship is genuine, but they won't ask you any crazy questions, so really don't worry about that. You're gonna be fine. And this interview lasts around 10 to 15 minutes because that person, the officer, is going to be checking on the computer the answers you give them, so that's why it takes a little bit longer, but it really goes by really fast. And like I said, just a couple of tips: listen carefully, answer what they're asking you, no more, no less. No need to give an explanation that's too long. Just answer in a simple and easy manner. Be nice with the officer, be honest about all your questions, and that's it. After, they're gonna ask you maybe like 12 questions, maybe 15 questions, but they're all really easy. So that's it. That's my advice to you guys. And if you have any questions or comments, please write them down below. I've been answering all the emails and comments you guys have been posting on YouTube. I'm happy to help everyone out. And like I said, if you like this video or if you found this video useful, please give it a like, subscribe, because that will help the channel grow and it will help other people apply during this complicated process. So see you guys next time, and have a nice day.